Hello everybody, Happy New Year, it's Cape Rugby TV time. And of course we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. As you know, we pre-recorded this. It is the Captain's Table where we talk to the captains and coaches from the various clubs in Western Province Rugby. Big thanks of course to our partners on board with us. Direct Access, your financial services partner. Intercape, who's of course the transport provider to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. MChem 24-hour pharmacy, of course on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, and of course our other partners like Yes Electrical that have joined us throughout the season, not to mention the fact that of course Score Energy Drinks, which is your sponsors to the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, is also on board with Cape Rugby TV. So a big thanks to our partners. We couldn't have done it without you during the year, but yes, it is New Year's Day, and we hope that you will enjoy a first show with us for 2020. Let me introduce you to my panel this evening that has joined us. I'm going to start off with our Albion's captains, Elrich Erasmus. Elrich, nice to have you back. Last time I spoke to you was at the Western Province Awards. Eerste keer vir jou op die show, né?
Ja, die eerste keer.
Yeah. From CPUT, Salih Jacobs, of course CPUT manager, but they said to me you're the strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, JP.
Definitely first time for you.
Yeah.
Because we haven't interviewed you post-match with or at CPUT.
At CPUT, yes.
And of course, Jeremy Schuller, captain at Yesterfield. Jeremy, nice to have you back.
Thank you, Zoe.
I'm not sure if you're back also. I think all of you guys are
first time, yeah.
Debutants.
That's right.
Nice to have you guys. Yeah. We were just talking in the break. Albion says they won first team, second team, and third team trophies this year. You guys believe that? Is it possible?
Could be. I think you must ask the captain of Albion. He's supposed to know.
All right, Elrich, sê vir ons, het julle al 3 trofees gewen?
Ja, JP, ons het al 3 trofies gewen in die promotion. Is eerste span, tweede span en derde span.
But it's been a good year for Albions. I mean, you guys did, as we know, you always do very well in the sevens. You dominated in the league, and then you went into the promotion league and you continued dominating there.
Ja, ons het gedomineer, ons het hard gewerk daarvoor.
Nou, wat sou jy sê is die verskil hierdie jaar tussen, alhoewel julle doen altyd eintlik alright. Wat was die verskil vir julle hierdie jaar?
Die verskil was, ons het oefeninge het ons net 'n dag meer gemaak en ons het harder gewerk en dit was warmer en so ons het net fokus het was op 'n level en dit het vir ons deurgedra al 3 spanne en ons is getoer het, wie gespeel het al 3 spanne die bus volgemaak. Dit is die belangrikste.
Jeremy, Yesterfield, vir julle ouens ook 'n 50-50 season sou men sê.
Yeah. We had our ups, we had our downs, JP.
Yeah.
I think we were in the Super League C before. It was hard for us in the league itself. I know the Northern League was very competitive. The teams that's playing there was very tough, and we made it through in third place behind Blakes and Albion.
You know, I'm looking at your season here. I've got all the stats in front of me for Yesterfield, and I tell you, and it's the same in fact for Albions. As ek nou hierna kyk, you guys played what looks like more than 30 games this year, both you guys. I think on the CPUT side, maybe the stats are slightly different, Salih, because you guys didn't play in the sevens.
Yes.
So, but still, I mean, Jeremy, if you look at this 30-odd games you played in the Northern League, the game structure there, of course the normal league,
yes.
And then you went in the promotion league,
yes.
And then you played in the Sevens league. It's a lot of rugby for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we started early this year.
Yeah.
Without training, because the previous year we missed out, and the guys were devoted. We had our team camp together, and then we decided to start early.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to achieve our goal, man. So
yeah.
There's a lot of tough teams that wants it, but I think we were hungry this year. We had to beat one team twice, as everyone knows in the last part with the relegation game on that Wednesday night. But the guys really they put up their hand this year. We had a lot of youngsters, but I think we were rooted, yeah. And the guys kept their heads down. And when we were down, our management and our coaches, they really lift us up, man, by saying we can do it. Sometimes you doubt your ability, I think, but this year we really made it, and we're just thankful for the opportunity to play in the Super C.
Well, you started the season early, so let's take a look. In fact, because we were out there, at the beginning of the year to see your pre-season training. And we've got some video footage here for that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Jeremy, Salih and Ulrich are telling me that I didn't see you in the video there.
I think I was in the first club, JP. The first club, yeah, and then
I thought you were behind the camera actually.
That's not true.
So just looking at that now, looking at the if you play that back, if you look at the practice session and you think to yourself, the field conditions, where did you think that you would end up in the league? If you were looking at that, I mean, what was going on in your mind at the time that you guys were pre-season at the beginning of 2019?
In the beginning, it was just a dream. Like every week, we took it game by game, JP. So we said that our dream is still alive. While we were in the top 3 positions, our dream was still alive. So our goal for this year was just to achieve promotion to the Super League C. We've had our challenges, like I mentioned earlier, players leaving to other clubs. Sometimes it takes too long for something to materialize.
Yeah.
And then people become impatient, but our fans really stood behind us. Our management really believed in the players, and our players really believed in our dream, and therefore we got the promotion. So it was hard work, but it came for us at the end. Yeah. So.
All right, Salih, let's go to you there. You're the strength and conditioning coach at CPUT. When you guys are pre-season, is it similar to this?
Yeah, look, I mean, in the pre-season, you technically want to work on getting the guys contact fit, and where you are doing some circuit training and working on tires and your on-field strength work. Yeah. So I mean, I saw. I don't know if I saw Jeremy lifting some heavy tires, but I saw some guys lifting some heavy tires. So I think, I mean, most clubs in the so-called division or in the zones, you got to make do with what resources you have. Other clubs up in the Super League A and the Super League B are fortunate enough to have adequate resources in that department, but I mean, we make do with what we have, and I think it shows. Because a lot of people think that the rugby down below is not that tough, but I can assure you it's very tough.
Everyone's working as hard as the next.
Exactly.
I mean, especially looking at the Super League B teams. In fact, all the leagues this year, when I say this year, I'm talking about 2019, nothing was easy. There were no easy games. You couldn't predict really one game to the next that it was going to, because anything could turn on the day. I don't know, Elrich, do you agree with me?
Ja, ek stem, het was baie tough geweest. So, as hy gekom het, hy het net maar game vir game vat. Hy kan nie sommer gesê het, ons gaat eerste rugby speel, ons gaat sommer vir hulle wen nie, of ons gaat CPUT speel, ons sommer wen nie. Het werk nie so nie, het was recht as hy moet hard gewerk het om te wen. Die scores was close. So,
en hoe lang voor die pre-season het julle begin met pre-season oefening?
Ons het self vroeg begin. Ons het maar soos jy weet, soos die league begin, gaan die manne wat wil ook fiks maak, gaan hulle net weer weg, dus dan moet hy weer sukkel weer. Met manne so, hy is maar wat gedoen word.
Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to carry on with the captain's table. Of course, 2020, new year, 10 years of Cape Rugby TV, but we're still treating it a little bit like with a review of 2019, so don't go away. Remember, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy is, of course, on the corner of Durban Road and the N1 with a big circle. They open 24 hours a day with free parking. We'll see you after the ad break. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Right, it's New Year's Day, Wednesday. You've probably all had your New Year's Eve celebrations already, and hopefully you're now relaxing and everybody's been safe over the festive season so far. Of course, lots of different versions of celebration going on, but we know that New Year's Day yesterday would have been a big bash for everybody. As you know, this is a pre-recorded episode of the Captain's Table. With me on the show is, of course, Salih Jacobs from CPUT. I've got Elrich Erasmus from Albions, and Jeremy Schuler from Eerste Rivier. It's great having you guys on the show. This is the Captain's Table. This is that time that you guys get to talk to each other when you don't normally see each other. You only get to see each other on game day.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a social occasion for you folks. Do you see each other at all any other stage? Not really. Yeah, just as well, because you're not the most talkative bunch and we have to drag it out of you. But the interesting thing here is because you guys played in the promotion league, you know, when we do the Super Leagues A's or B or C, everybody played against each other. You only played against each other in promotion leagues, so you don't come from necessarily the same. Did you guys find maybe this year that there was a difference between, once you got to promotion league, that there was a difference between Northern League, Southern League, City League, because you had your top three playing in the promotion league, which was top three in those different leagues. I don't know, did you find that there was a difference in the league strengths, maybe?
Can I give my opinion?
Yes, please do.
I think you don't know what to expect because all the teams are hungry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams playing, and like Sadiq also mentioned earlier, most of the teams that's in each league, the teams from the league above us, they tend to think, but the teams aren't competitive. But you'll be surprised when you play against the teams, how competitive they are and how hungry they are to achieve their success. So I didn't underestimate any team from any other league. You must just we normally just take it game for game, and then as we measure up our competitor in the game itself, our opponent in the game itself, that's how we address. Or we have a game plan going into the game itself, but mentally, you will have to, on the day, a team can pitch up, and on the day, a team can't be on the field, and it's the same players.
Well, I was looking at during the 19 season, I was looking at, for example, Violets and Hamadias were going head-to-head during the season, and then when we got to the promotion league, it looked like it was a real challenge between Violets and CPUT. I don't know if, Salih, you can fill us in on that, but it looked like those were some big games there.
Yeah, look, I mean, I initially started my conditioning career at Violets. So it was a little bit of a history game for myself, but I mean, it's always a good challenge. I knew that Violets was going to be a tough game. It was going to be one of our tough opponents. They got some big players, some big name players, high profile players in. So on the day, luckily and fortunately for us, we were the winners on the day. So
what was it for you guys from a CPUT point of view? I mean, you came out of this. What's interesting to me is that you came out there, you were the Varsity Shield winners this year, you know, and that put a big target on your back. Everybody said, you know, the mighty CPUT Varsity Shield champions. You've got Ricky Peterson there as the coach. You know, like, did that affect things for you guys at all? Because everybody, like, that was going to play you knew that they were up against a big challenge.
Yeah, look, I mean, that was one of the challenges that we faced, and that I think that is one of the challenges that we actually took head on. And because we were fortunate enough to have Ricky Peterson as our head coach and Rito Glungwane as our assistant coach. So those are two top flight coaches that could guide us and keep the guys level-headed, especially after coming out of winning the Varsity Shield, coming into the Southern Zone, and then to keep the guys' feet on the ground, you know, take it through and gain promotion to the promotional league first before we actually get promotion to the Super League C. So our focus was also, like Alrich and Jeremy said, your focus is game by game, and Ricky and Rito guided the guys, and I mean that was our focus. We focused on each game at a time, took it game for game, and luckily for us, we gained promotion at the end of it.
Alrich, self vir julle, was dit ook game for game, dag vir dag?
Ja, ons het ook game for game gevat. Voor alles heeft weggespeel, het is gebied wat om te verwachten. Alles is niet bij de huis as jy. As jy by die huis is, wil jy mos maar jou thuiswedstryde wen. Maar weg van die huis af moet jy maar probeer wen, want die span by die huis is net so honger soos hy is.
At CPUT, obviously strength and conditioning, we're talking about that now. Do you run the same kind of conditioning through the second team and third team and so on as well?
Look, I mean, we fortunate enough. I mean, being a university, in fact, all our players that played league are students. So we were fortunate enough to have a big group, as like Jeremy and my fellow captain over here. I mean, they're not as fortunate where it comes to practice. We're getting guys out to practice is tough because, I mean, guys have professions. They work hard in the day, and then sometimes in the evenings it's tough to come out to practice. So they suffer in terms of having numbers. Fortunately for us, that worked in our favor, being the university. So it was all our students, and they were at our disposal. So we worked as a group. We worked all three teams together, and so we worked one program through all three teams.
Yeah. And eerste review, Jeremy?
Definitely, JP. I think the guys are, like Salih also mentioned now, they're struggling to get to the field. Sometimes your work requires you to work late and so. So we have a culture of you like aiming for the guy on top of you, man. So if you're playing in the third team and you're a flanker, and then you would say, tell the guy in the second team, but you're wearing my jersey.
Ah, okay.
So that's a culture we have.
I
So
love
we always want to achieve the next step, man. And then the first team would then be addressed by the management of the club to say that you guys are the one wearing the number 1 jersey.
But someone's coming to get it.
Someone is coming to get it. And then you have the responsibility to be ethical, to be moral, and then to have discipline.
Yeah.
And to set an example also, JP. So
I think it's great.
if you don't have that, within the club, then the guys normally just come as they please because I know I'm a good rugby player. But there's greater things to it, man. Especially in the environment and the area we're in. Yesterday area. So where gangsterism can take a youngster's life. He's maybe a good rugby player, but now he falls into makes wrong decisions, JP. So now he like sees me and he thinks, but this is the jersey I'm supposed to wear, and then it keeps him occupied and it gives him a goal to achieve. And what a feeling if you achieve your goal eventually.
Yeah. But you know, again, going back to if I look at the amount of games here, maybe yesterday if you didn't quite do as you know in terms of the numbers like Albion's. But you're talking about the spirit and you're talking about the gears.
Yes.
And if I look at the fact that you played in all of these games, you played across Pool A's, the Northern League, the Promotion League, plus you probably played a few friendlies as well. That goes to show a lot about the actual culture of the club, because you don't have most clubs don't have the ability to play so many games if you don't have numbers.
Yeah. Definitely we did have numbers. In the beginning of the year, we had the water shortage. I don't know if you're still aware of it. In the beginning of 2019.
Yes.
I'm
very aware of it because I don't think we had any rugby for about 4 months.
Most of the fields were unplayable.
Yeah.
So most of our friendlies were in the Boland region.
That's right. You did a bit of traveling.
We did a bit of traveling. Yeah. We took on Grabouw, Verliesdorp, and so forth. So it took from the club itself, but I must commend our management. I mean, to go 4 or 5 games away with bus fees in the beginning of the year without having any function, and then that just showed the commitment and the devotion to the club. And I mean, it's also individuals that has families and things to achieve at home, but they have the love for the game and they have the love for the community, and therefore we could like sit here today. That's why I can sit here today. I mean, we're the third of the 3 teams that's here, but I must say our gees is there, our love is there. If there's guys in the area, Blue Downs, Easter River, I want to invite them to come and just take a look, come have a quick peek on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And as the eerste geproe het, dan gaan ze nie wel losie.
Folks, it's the captain's table. We're talking to the guys about what they did during the 2019 season. It's always fantastic to have the guys on the show, and the captains and coaches and managers from the different clubs. And we look back at things, of course. Saleh Jacobs on the show with us from CPUT, and Jeremy Schuler from Eerste Rivier, and Elrich Erasmus from Albion's. We're going to take an ad break in a second, but Elrich, one of the big things that you guys did, of course, this year once again was the sevens. But in fact, for all 3 of you guys, okay, I know CPUT, long season for you guys, but Eerste Rivier, Albion's, sevens for you guys, it's in the blood.
Ja, JP, die mannen het hulle eie spannetjie, so hulle operate amper so saam. So hy sien die blitzies, Jabi's blitzies, en hulle doen goed vir ons by enige toernooi wat ons deelneem. Even die school toernooi het hulle ook goed gedoen. Hulle het die round of 16 gehaal, en dit was goed vir ons.
Right, let's take a look at some of the sevens. This was, of course, Eerste Rivier up against False Bay. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Welcome back, everybody. Right, so that was Eerste Rivier up against the Rivers. Is it, River boys?
Rivers.
The Rivers against False Bay there. I can't remember what that result was, but you guys you've got a natural passion for sevens rugby.
Yes, but I think the guys were a little tired. The NJP, like you mentioned, klomp rugby gespeeld, a lot of rugby during the year. But I mean, a team like False Bay, you can see they outshine our guys a little. Maar ek dink die liefde is nog onder ons ouens. The sevens we normally just play to keep the guys occupied, to keep the guys busy, and then also keep the belief between the guys. That's why we play the sevens normally.
Folks, we are going to take an ad break now. But before we take the ad break, of course, the sevens we're talking about was, of course, the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. That was at CPUT. We're going to speak to Salih Jacobs about their CPT Varsity Cup, at least Varsity Shield performance after the break. But before we do that, don't forget you can win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. Score's, of course, the sponsor of the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33090 and you put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score. Congratulations to one of our winners, Calvin Goosen. Calvin has been entering the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens competition, and Calvin, you are last year's winner. Of course, New Year's Day, when we hope that you've had a safe New Year's so far. We'll take an ad break. We'll see you in a sec. Cape Rugby TV time, first of 2020. Of course, we captured the show in 2019, and for those of you that are just joining us now, 2020 is looking to be a very exciting year. And for those of you that are watching it for the first time will know that one of the reasons why it's so special is because this now makes it 10 years of looking after club rugby in Western Province. Absolutely thrilled about it, but I'm not going to get into that too much now because we have so many surprises waiting for you in the year to come. Albrecht, let's go to you. At least Salih, one of the things that was, of course, important for you guys was the Varsity Shield. An enormous result, but that must have been also pretty tough to do, especially considering the fact that you knew that you would come out of that and get into the club structures. Yeah, JP,
I mean, in the beginning of, or let's say in the end of 2018, heading on into our first off-season camp, Coach Ricky sat down with all of us, and he basically told us the goal, and his goal was simple: we're winning Varsity Shield 2019. And a lot of the sports administrators at CPUT looked at him like he was out of his mind, bearing in mind that the university actually ended up second last and last in the 2 previous years in the competition. So the expectation wasn't very high for us to win it. But I mean, we all bought into Coach Ricky's idea and his game plan that he had, and the culture that he cultivated within CPUT rugby. So yeah, when we took it game by game. We lost our first game against Madibas away, and that was pretty much the only game that we lost. And yeah, we got the same team, and I'll never forget after that game in Port Elizabeth, Coach Ricky said that we're going to get them in the final. And we're going to beat them in the final, and it was just like that, the fairy tale ending.
How much did that affect? I mean, how much did that affect the team? The traveling component, because obviously CPUT, like Albion's and Eerste, if you're local guys, you're not going to travel more than 20 kilometers to train, unless you come from Mamre, like Hamlets, where you have a bit more distance to travel. But for you guys, this was a completely different experience. You had to organize either buses or fly wherever you had to go.
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky in the Shield that Varsity Sports actually sorts out all our transport arrangements, so flights, accommodation, and transport to and from hotels to training venues and to match venues wasn't a problem. All of those logistics was basically went perfect for us.
But is it hard for you as a strength and conditioning coach to keep? Okay, let's say now the guys, obviously you don't have to worry, you don't have to stress about where you're going to stay, but this is a new excitement factor, of course, for players, and you need to keep them focused. because you know how youngsters are. It's a first opportunity, or it's going to be travel. But you have to keep. There's a different challenge for you now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to play good cop, bad cop sometimes. And yeah, so when it comes to especially day before, I mean, we played on a Monday, so we'd travel the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So we'd have a busy day actually the Sunday. So we'd actually arrive hopefully before lunch. We'll have some lunch, but I mean obviously that also all the meals will be pre-planned, and so no desserts until after the game. And yeah, but I mean we'd have our walkthroughs and our blackboard sessions in the evenings. We'd have our curfews we'd uphold.
You walk around and say, lights out now, guys.
Look, I mean, in the beginning, it was a bit like that. But I mean, once the guys start actually understanding the concept and understanding the goal that we want to achieve, it becomes easy.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I would, on the other hand, be insisting that I would have to carbo load for the next day. Jeremy, you'll agree with me?
No, I'm not a carbo loader.
Oh, you're not a carbo loader. Elrich, as jy jou pudding moet kry, dan moet jy jou pudding eet, né? Jy moet hom eet, joh. Mos jy worry oor die dessert daar is, maar jy moet. Albions, what impressed me so much with Albions was when we came to the sevens, the very first day of the sevens, Albions came out and played 5 games in a row.
Yep.
To make up for the fact that the next week was going to be your derby match. Maar die ouens het nog steeds gejol en die punte op die bord gesit en honger gebly.
Ja, as ek reg het ons al 5 games gewen. Die eerste ronde, ons het nog nie tweede ronde gespeel nie, maar ons die derby was teen Parel Rangers. So hulle lekker punte aangeteken, hulle het gewen en hulle het 2 games verloor die volgende Saterdag. En hulle het gekwalifiseer vir die uitkloprondes, die top 16. En hulle het ook nie daar so sleg gedoen nie.
Want daai is nie bad nie. Kyk nou net hierso, jy's reg. Julle het al 5 games gewen en toe julle teruggekom het na die tweede week het julle weer die 6ste game gewen. So julle het eintlik 6 games in 'n ry gewen by die sevens. Maar kom ons kyk gou. CPUT were up against Violets. Let's talk back to the league a little bit. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this match. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. CPUT against Violets. Wow, what a game that was. Of course, at the main field. I was trying to work out there for a second because we played so much sevens rugby there. Elrich, jy het in albei van hierdie gespanne gespeel. CPUT en Violets. Wat een van hulle was die tafste vir julle?
Vir ons tafste wedstryd was gewees CPUT. Maar ons het gelukkig het ons wel hulle gewen by ons huis. Maar ons het self
Julle het die Varsity Shield champions geklop.
Ja.
Okay.
As ek reg was, ek skoot 43-41.
Oh, you know.
En dit was baie warm my dag, so ek het die manne geput. So die span wat die hongerste gewees het, daai dag het gewen. En Violet self was self weer slegte span nie. Ons het gesukkel teen hulle ook by hulle huis. En maar ons het dit deurgedruk.
Ja, ek sien julle het vir CPUT gebeat 42-40. Dis maar net 2 punte, né? Maar hy was 'n close game. I mean, hoe voel dit vir julle dat julle eintlik die Varsity Shield champions geklop het?
Ja, ons het geweet dat
Salie geslag so. Hy sluk nou so dik daai kant.
ons het geweet dat gaan 'n tawe een wees. Die manne kom, die manne gaan hardloop en ons speel presies dieselfde tipe rugby. Waar hulle het die eerste 2-3 gedruk en ons moet toe catch-up speel.
Ja,
En
ja.
daarna het dit in ons guns geval. Die bord ons kant toe geop en ons het gejol.
Ek kyk net gou na julle league season hierso toe julle nou begin het op die 6de April. Julle het daai eerste game gespeel teen Whistling Wheels en hy gedraw.
Ja.
Wat het daar gebeur?
Daai was die eerste game, ons het maar letterlik uit mekaar geval. Ons het niks het ons gewerkie. So het gelyk asof ons die gameplan het die eerste game nie.
Ja.
En na daai dinge net weer begin werk. Ons het gestiek by wat vir ons werk. En nou alles in plek geval.
Die volgende game was toe teen Van der Stel.
Ja.
Was die gameplan toe bietjie meer op plek, want 2 games na dit het julle weer afgegaan teen Solorians, maar dit was toe Van der Stel en toe vir Eerste Rivier. Het julle die gameplan bietjie beginne shape vat?
Ja, ons het weer begin gestiek wat by ons wat vir ons werk. En het vir ons gewerk en ons het hardloop rugby gespeel. En toe kom ons by
Solorians.
Toe val ons vas teen hulle. Maar ook onmiddellik die game gewen het, ons kop vlak voor die paal skop ons mis. So hy was die enetjie wat ons
So julle verloor teen die ding maak nie vir my eintlik sin nie. Julle beat vir Eerste Rivier, maar julle verloor teen Solorians. Eerste Rivier beat vir Solorians in die eerste game.
That's right, JP. Ek dink ons het besluit vir die jaar om die jaar goed af te skop.
Ja.
So afgesien wat span ons gekry het. Weet dit nou by Solorians of die All Blacks of geen om nie. Ons moes gewen het om die jaar goed te begin van die ding wat vir ons ook in die altyd in die vorige seisoene is. Ons het nie goed begin nie. Die seisoene goed begin nie, dan wil ons goed afeindig, maar dan het ons nie genoeg punte opgestapel om in die eerste 3 spanne te eindig nie. So toe ons nou vir Solorians kry, het ons net besluit, maar vir hulle gaan ons wen en gelukkig het ons vir Solorians by ons se tuisveld gekry. Waar Eerste Rivier baie support het en ek dink as die support is wat vir ons gedra het om daai game te wen en as dit nog nie vir hulle was nie, dan weet ek nie wat die results moontlik sou gewees het nie. Maar hulle het vir ons gedra en die ouens het regtig wat hier gekom daar so ja.
Maar dit wys mense net hoe sterk die Northern League was.
Yes.
Ek meen, het was 50-50 al die games. Een dag is dit Wales op, ander dag is iemand anders weer op. That keeps you motivated. You can't let your guard down.
Yeah, I think the praise is a little off you if you're not in the top 3 positions in the Northern League. If you're in the top 3 positions, then you're setting a target on your back.
Yeah.
Then the teams will gun for you because you're in the position where they want to be.
Who do you think was your toughest game this
We lost a couple EZB. So if you say toughest, what would you mean?
Well, I don't know. I think for every club there is I think as Ulrich was saying and Alex was saying, Salih was saying is that before the season starts, you have an idea what your fixtures are. And you're already at that stage, you start saying, hang on guys, that's going to be a big game. You can't help yourself. Even though everybody says, no, we take it one game at a time.
Yes.
You can't help but say, hang on, that one there is going to be a big one.
There's definitely one team and they're sitting on my right, far to my right with the cup.
Albions?
Yeah, that's right. Because they beat us twice at our own field. Very tight games. I mean, it shows that you mustn't stop playing rugby until the ref blows the final whistle. Ek dink die eerste game het hulle net deurgekom daar so op die laaste doodsnikke, and you'll see the scores are always tight between the two teams. So I'm glad we got promoted to the Super C, JP, because we have like some unsettled
unsettled scores.
Unsettled scores there, JP, between Esterhuis and Albions.
Unsettled scores. Well, we're looking forward to see how it's going to be in 2020. But folks, we're going to take an ad break. But before we go to the ad break, just a reminder: CTC Sports has been running a jersey special, and considering that we captured this in 2019, we're going to give you an opportunity, and we'll pass on the details, and hopefully they'll keep the special going. They've got a rugby jersey special running, or did have it running. I'm sure Reggie Amos will keep this in place. It runs until the 1st of January. Well, that's to today. So you can SMS the word CTC to 33090, and you can they will get in touch with you with this jersey special. Very good prices. Their senior jerseys 220 rand, juniors jerseys only 200 rand. Of course, CTC Sports is the company that made all of the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens jerseys. So you can't go wrong there, that if you need a set of jerseys, go to CTC Sports. Just SMS the word CTC to 33090. We take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at some of the other matches from the teams here with me in the Promotion League. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. On the show with me, of course, Sadich Jacobs, conditioning coach at CPUT. Ulrich Erasmus is, of course, the vice captain at Albions, and Jeremy Schuller, captain at Esterhuis. Ulrich, I'm going to go back to you here. One of the things that was interesting to me during the year is that if we looked at the player statistics, you guys had Grant Fortuin as one of your as the top try scorer in your team for most of the year. He was sitting at a high level in terms of points, and then went on still into the sevens also as a high point scorer. It must be good to know that you've got some of the top point scoring machines in your team.
Ja, is regtig goed om vir hulle ook daar te hê. So Xavier Mitchell, het trick gescoord in CPUT, 2 deur gedruk in Esterhuis. Hy het basies elke game met hy meer as 1-3 gedruk. Hy het vir ons baie deurgedra. Tawe games het hy hier gekom. So is regtig waar goed om die puntermakers te hê by Albions.
Well, as I kyk na Albions se punte, do you guys look at the stats, Jeremy? Do you guys measure your numbers at all?
Regarding like a game itself,
Yeah,
JP,
like
or where the team is going?
Like, for example, let me give you some of your stats here. So, for example, Albions during the promotion league had an 88% win rate. Esterhuis had a 63% win rate. So did Violets, a 63% win rate. Points scored, interestingly enough, Albion scored. How many points do you think you scored, Ulrich, during the promotion league?
How many? 200.
279 points. And you ended up in first place. Interestingly enough, CPUT that ended in second scored almost 100 points more than Albions, but still came second. So it goes to show that points scored in the league does not necessarily mean you're going to win the league, because CPUT was by far ahead of everybody, but still the wins were counted for you. I don't know if you guys look at the stats in this way. Well, that means that from our perspective, when we look at it, it goes to show whether or not you've got a strong defense or a strong offense, or, and so on. Is this something you guys work on at club level? Is focus on the defensive structures or the attack structures, or is it just a question of get the guys on the field and play rugby?
Definitely we do, especially in the first group. So I can't talk for the other teams itself. Our first group will get
when
together.
You say the first group,
like the first team,
the first
squad,
team,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think during this year we had to. Previous years it was like one squad, and then if a play is sub, then it's always when it comes to the play, it feels like it's the way I play. But this year we had the management had to manage the players itself. So it's not always what you put on the field, but it's the opponent you play as well.
Yeah.
So if the coaching structure feel that the other player would do better in this game, then you'll have to sit on the bench for that specific game. Maybe play a second half only. And that I think the players really matured in that way, JP. Because other years it was like I practiced 2 days. Last week I had a brilliant game, so I'm playing this week again. And this year our approach was completely different. We had a squad of players, and then we had our team talks where we decided, okay, this is the best team to take our club forward in that specific week. Yeah.
As a group?
As a group, yeah.
So not as playing individuals?
No, definitely. There was a lot of times our normal practicing nights are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but there was a lot of Saturdays we had to put in with Friday evenings where we get together, we had a team talk, and then also socialize amongst each other. But also then when we talked about the game at the end, like the Saturday we played, so there the issues would come out. We'll have a look at our opponent, how they've been playing. Like
on
you
a
mentioned.
Saturday when you're not
No,
playing?
on a Friday before we play the Saturday.
Okay.
So then we'll talk about how the opponents is playing. Like you mentioned now, is it a team with high point scoring ability, like CPUT, so we know they're attacking team. Maybe they lack in defense. And then there's a team that maybe conceded a little points, which means it's a very defensive team.
Yes.
So you're going to struggle scoring points against them.
Yeah, you see,
so
you guys do look at the stats. You just don't want to tell us about it. Do you keep things close to your chest? Do you like, Elrich, do you have to like watch that the guys are not, that other teams don't know your game plan? There's no spies out there?
Nee, glad niet.
You don't worry.
You don't worry, we spelen niet. Als het gameplan, maar als ook zoals, dan misschien een span speelt als eerste of je weet misschien moet sterker vleuel spelen of vanniger vleuels. So maar die mannen verstaan ook, zoals Jeremy gesê het, als het die jouw week is, die week is, en misschien die een zwaar pak speel, of kies een zwaar dik, en dan die lichte flankjes maar weer uitzet. So hulle verstaan as jy dat, soos destijds is die mannen kwaad geraak, hy wil speel, hy 3 dagen oefen, hy wil speel, en nou het hy verstaan as hy op die bank sit, en so, die liefde was daar, die groep, die spirit was, alles was lekker geweest bij jou in hierdie jaar. Daar was nie nog mannen wat die dinge die mekaar krap of so nie.
It definitely comes to me across to me that there's never enough rugby for you guys. I know people say they need to take a break, but if you have to ask those young guys, what do you want to do on Saturday?
Want to play rugby.
Do you guys agree with me? Is it
Yes.
Everybody seems to say that. Maybe 1 or 2 guys say they're a little bit tired, but in general, clubs want to play.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. It's our first show of the year. We hope that you've had a safe and happy festive season so far, and of course, continue to do so safely with your family. It is 2020 with a pre-recorded show of the Captain's Table. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll have a final chat with our guys about how things went in 2019, but also what their plans are for 2020. Back in a sec. Episode 1 of 2020, 10 years of Cape Rugby TV. We'll talk to you more about that next week and in the weeks to come. So no changes just yet, but look out for lots of exciting things during 2020. We were out to watch Albions up against Goodwood in the Bowl Sevens. Tonight is the Captain's Table, and with Salih Jacobs from CPUT, and Ulrich Erasmus from Albions, and of course Jeremy Schuller from Eerste The River Boys are in town. Let's take a look at some of the action in the Sevens. Albions up against Goodwood. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access Financial Services, Score Energy Drinks, and MChem 24-hour Pharmacy. Sevens Bowl final, of course, Albion's up against Goodwood. Close, but not close enough.
Ja, het was close geweest, we daar hier verloor. We zouden gelijk zitten om die bowl final te winnen, maar dat heeft nog niet voor ons gewerkt.
Yeah, no,
volgende keer.
Goodwood sneaks it across there. You were mentioning earlier on, Salih, about the CPUT guys. One of the strengths that you had was managing to keep your players from the Varsity Shield to get them into the league structures. And obviously, West Bromwich Club Rugby is so strong that you know it's going to be very tough to play in that structures. Many people come back and say the league at Western Province is sometimes harder than the Varsity Shield or the Varsity Cup. How did you manage to keep those players?
Look, I mean, it's always tough if you look at the club. The club was playing. I mean, for the guys playing in the Shield and then coming to play in the club to play in the City Zone. Most guys have Super League A experience that played for us this year in the Shield.
Yeah.
So there's, like I said, the culture that was cultivated at CPUT was great. So that was a bonus in us, and I mean incentives. So there was incentives. The coaches and management fought very hard with the sports administrators at CPUT to create some incentives for the guys, because I mean, let's face it, the game has become semi-pro. So I mean, most players are looking for something.
And the rule is that to play for CPUT you have to study at CPUT.
To play for CPUT in the Varsity Shield competition, yes, you have to study you have to study at CPUT. But I mean, if you want to play league for CPUT as a club,
then it's open, eh?
And it's an open club.
And it becomes open again. Okay,
yes.
But you managed to keep the same guys there, so
we are lucky in that regard.
Nice,
yeah.
Strong. Yeah. Elrich for Albions now. It was a good 2019. I was about to say you probably can't beat that, but you can beat it. What are your plans for 2020?
Toen had ons maar een zelfde ding te doen. We is hier om weer die Super League C-spannen te wijzen. Dat we niet gekomen om hard te komen, we zijn gekomen om hier ook te winnen. Zo we gaat met alles komen wat er zit.
Je weet dat het gaat redelijk tough is.
Ja, het gaat tough is, maar ik denk we is prepared daarvoor.
They say that every time you go up a league, it gets about 5 kilos heavier and 5 meters faster. Jeremy, 2020 for you guys?
I think the last time we were in the Super League C was 2014, JP. So I was there during the relegation period as well. So emotionally it meant a lot to our club. The management, the players, everyone's confident. A lot of players indicating that possibly next year they'll come back home.
Hey.
So we hope for good things in Easter. I mean, we're a club you can't underestimate.
Absolutely, the River boys. And Saleh, CPUT, I'm assuming that the big plan is ultimately to get CPUT into the Varsity Cup.
Yeah, I suppose that's the main goal, or the initial goal for the time being, seeing that the Varsity Shield competition is coming up now in February. So yeah, we've got two new renowned coaches as well that have been appointed. In Alistair Tace and in Jongi Nokwe. So exciting times. There is a blueprint that Coach Ricky and Rito have implemented and found that it actually works for us. So they'll just come and add their own spice to their own flavor to the plan. Yeah.
You've got some very experienced guys there.
Yeah. So I mean, look, we're in good hands. So the squad we just came off our off-season camp. So guys are in good stead. So yeah, second camp begins in January, on the 5th of January. So then we'll take it into the Shield and then hopefully go into the Super League C. Hopefully just with confidence again.
Well, I'm sure you guys will absolutely do it. Ulrich, best of luck for 2020 and thanks for joining us on the show, and stay safe on the roads for the rest of the festive season.
Thank you.
Saleh, to you as well. All the best to the guys at CPUT. I'm sure you won't see them now for the next few days, and they probably will dread seeing you. But yeah, thanks for coming in, and we look forward to following the progress.
Thank you, JP. Thank you for having me on the show.
And Jeremy, the River boys, all the best to the guys out there. Again, same to you guys. Stay safe on the roads.
Yes, thank you, JP. Easter River community. We in it to win it. Remember, Rivers never quit. And that's our belief for next year. And JP, thank you for the opportunity for having us.
It's been great having you guys on the show. The Captain's Table, always a lot of fun. But folks, that's it until next week. Welcome to 2020. We hope that you have a fantastic year, but we'll tell you more about that in the days to come. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. And as we always say, have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.